Welcome my friends to my first secrets video for Black Myth Wukong. You loved my Elden Ring series and asked for more, so here it is. Please let me know if you'd like a part 2 for the later chapters, and if it gets enough love I'll consider it. For now though, this is the top 5 most important and missable secrets throughout chapter 1 and 2. So let's get started. We'll start off quite late into chapter 2, as most of these secrets require quite a bit of backtracking and require you to have done most of chapter 2 already before you can fully complete them. So just keep progressing through the main game until you get to the Crouching Tiger Temple, more specifically when you get to and defeat the Tiger Vanguard boss. After defeating him, you can of course head through the giant hole in the ground that's opened up and progress on with the main story. For now though, you want to head behind the temple and follow the very linear path through the Yellow Wind Formation and through Windrest. Windrest is a pretty big area with lots of loot to be had, but I will let you explore it at your leisure because this isn't supposed to be a full walkthrough. I'll just point out the few key things you want to grab as you're exploring, including a sobering stone that you'll need to progress another secret later on in this video. And you can access this once you have defeated the Blaze Bone in this courtyard. Look around for an open shack across from a fire bellflower, and here you will see a small glowing jar. Break it open and you'll receive the sobering stone. Save that for later. For now, let's continue on through Windrest. There's some really good loot here, including the Spirit of the Rat Imperial Guard. And when you get to the end of the area just here on this bridge, you will begin a fight with the Tiger's Acolyte. Upon defeating him, you'll earn the Old Rattle Drum, which is the main focus of this first secret. So now that you've got that, we will backtrack back into Windrest. The first location you want to go, now you have this Rattle Drum, is further back in the Windrest Hamlet. Return across the bridge to the Hamlet Shrine and pass back through the large gate. Immediately take a left to the large house surrounded by sitting withering corpses, and you will be prompted to use the drum. Just be careful if you don't clear up the area first, because all of the corpses will awake and start attacking you. The second location is on the path. Head down from the door towards a bridge, then take a right to pass through a ruined building overhang where there's a long roof-like walkway. In here, once again, the spirit will speak to you and you will once again be able to use the rattle drum. For the third and final location, you want to head back to where you fought the Earth Wolf and spoke to the Horseguy earlier. This is by the large statue in Sandgate Village. Look to the left of that statue and you'll find a small field around the back with a well and quite a few dead bodies. Once again, you will be able to use the rattle drum here, and the spirit of the boy will now finally appear to you before inviting you to hop down the well to meet his friend. And this is where the Mad Tiger mini-boss fight comes into play. Definitely the toughest of the 3 tiger bosses in this chapter, so make sure you are fully prepared for this boss fight. It can be a really tough one. However, once you defeat him, you will be able to acquire his spirit, along with a bunch of other crafting materials and just over 1,000 will. And perhaps most importantly, make sure to search around the bottom of the well carefully, for you can open a large wooden chest that holds the Plaguebane Gourd. This gourd is very inefficient when it comes to healing, but what it does do is increase your attack power every single time you drink from it, so it's a very high risk, high reward gourd. That is it for secret 1, so let's move on to the next one. For the next secret, something else you'll have noticed is all of these giant Buddha heads lying around. There are 6 of them in total, and each time you interact with one, you will get a Buddha eye. Chances are you will very easily find all 6 of them as you are just naturally progressing through the area, because they are massive, they glow, they are very hard to miss, and they even make audio cues when you are anywhere near one, so it should be very easy to collect them all. You now want to go to the Stone Vanguard's boss arena, and there are two different things you can do with the Buddha Eyes here. Shout out to Hunter from our community Discord for sharing the first part of this secret with me. Before collecting all 6 eyes, I had already gone in and defeated the Stone Vanguard myself. But if you didn't know, if you go ahead and collect all of the eyes first, when you go into the Stone Vanguard's boss arena, you can interact with the big pile of rubble, which will become the Shigandang boss fight. And if you do that whilst the Stone Vanguard is still alive, Shigandang will just pummel him to death and do the job for you, and you will still get all the rewards. Now for the second part of this secret, regardless or not of whether the Stone Vanguard is still alive for you, you will now have to fight and defeat Shigandang, which is arguably an even tougher boss, but definitely you want to do because the rewards you unlock are amazing. My absolute favourite of which is a brand new staff which will enhance charged heavy attacks, which, as you know from my easy OP early game build video, is one of the most powerful things in the game that you can do to absolutely melt your enemies. Now that you've done that, we are going to move on to probably the toughest and most long-winded of all the secrets today, and that is facing off against 2 hidden dragon bosses. Secret number 3 is a bit of a long one, and you will get that pun in just a minute. At least I really hope you do, because I'm so proud of myself. Anyway, to start off this secret, head to the Valley of Despair Keeper's Shrine. Now, facing that big stone gate, you're going to head left towards where you fought the first Rat Prince. Drop down here and you'll see this big-ass wall. And using a big heavy attack such as the Wandering Wight's Spirit attack, you can now smash a hole in this wall. Please note you can also get the first Rat Prince to smash a hole in the wall during the boss fight, but if it's not something you know to do, and if it's not something you're looking out for, then it's probably not going to have happened. So just know that you can smash a hole yourself with a really big powerful attack. Next up, when you're out of combat, head in through this hole. And over on the other side of the room, you can loot this chest, which will grant you the long scales. This is a key item you will need to face all 4 of the optional hidden dragon bosses, the first of which, the Black Dragon, we are about to face now. Now head back to a Keeper's Shrine and teleport to Rock Rest Flat. From here, you're just going to head right and run up the stairs, and you'll hear a voice start talking to you. If you do, that means you've done everything correctly up to this point. Now you can interact with this sandfall to break it and enter through the door ahead of you. And in here is now time for the Black Long boss fight. Please note, if this guy gives you too many issues, you can face these optional bosses at any point in the game. In fact, some of them are supposed to be fought far later than when you find them, because they can be really, really tough. I managed to get him down on my 3rd attempt, and pretty much the only attack that gave me any trouble was when he keeps slamming down on the ground again and again and again, sending out waves of lightning. It's a bit tricky to get the timing down, but when you do, it should look a little something like this. Once you've defeated him, you will gain a plethora of rewards, including but not limited to the first crafting material you need to create a new super powerful staff. Make sure you loot the chest at the end of the room before you leave. Now we are going to teleport back to chapter 1 for the second part of this secret. So the next step is to head to the outside the Forest Keeper's Shrine in the Forest of Wolves. Next up, you are going to head forwards as if you were doing this area for the first time, and once you've gone past the first 2 wolves, take a left and continue heading up the hill. Keep heading up, following it slightly round to the right. Then when you get to an opening with a big chest that you should have opened earlier, turn left and again continue heading up the hill, and the same voice should start talking to you again. If it does, you know you've done everything right and you are in the correct place. Now go through the gap in the hills and slightly down until you come out to a lake. And at the other edge of this lake, you'll see a waterfall that you can interact with to reveal the path to the next boss. When you're ready, head on through, and you'll be faced with a cutscene before you face off against the red dragon. This guy is potentially even tougher than the Black Long because he's very irritating to fight. You have to try and get behind him and blow up the 4 lightning barrels on his back that will stun him temporarily and deal a huge amount of damage to his health bar. Unfortunately, due to his moveset and how much he moves around the arena, that is far easier said than done, so Immobilize could be your best friend here. Luckily, if you are aggressive and keep the pressure up, he staggers pretty damn easily. And despite a few spicy moments and not really using that many medicines, I somehow managed to beat this guy on the first try, despite many people believing he is far tougher than the Black Dragon. So hopefully things go as smoothly for you as they did for me, and you'll beat him in a couple of tries. You are then rewarded with a bunch of different crafting materials, and you can loot another curio from the chest at the other end of the boss arena. And this will now give you everything you need to craft a brand new staff. And with that, we are now onto the longest, toughest, and most fun secret in Chapter 2. First things first, it is now time to give the sobering stone that we collected earlier to the Boar Man. If you haven't visited him yet already, he is literally in the next arena along, right beside the stone vanguard that you fought. It should be very easy for you to find, but I will quickly show you the route there from Rockrest Flat just in case you're unsure. Once you've done this and you've sobered him up, he is now hungry. So the next thing you're going to want to do is teleport to the Crouching Tiger Temple, and just up these stairs and on the right hand side he will ask for some food. All he wants is a Jade Lotus, and if you have been following my tips and looting everything in sight, you should have loads of these. So go ahead and give him one of them, and he will immediately reveal the next part of the quest. He reveals that he needs his senior brother's gold when the time is right, and he needs this gold in the right place to give it a try. He is talking about some gold you will have acquired from defeating the first Rat Prince earlier, so don't worry, you will already have that in your inventory automatically. And when he is talking about the right place, you actually now want to go back to where you first met the boar in that arena, just a short walk from the Stone Vanguard. This time, when you head back down into his arena, turn right, and you'll see he is waiting for you in amongst some structures, and he is very angry that you have his brother's gold, and he challenges you to a duel. Once you have defeated the boar, who we now know is referred to as the Yellow-Robed Squire, he will submit and become your friend again. You'll also get his snout mask as a new headgear, and he will open the way for you to access a brand new secret zone. Head through into this zone, and a short way in, you will be faced with a Tiger Vanguard fight. If you've already beaten the other stone version of the Tiger Vanguard and also the Mad Tiger at the bottom of the well, this one shouldn't pose any more of a challenge. I truly believe the Mad Tiger is the toughest of the three, so it may still take a couple of attempts because he does have some really powerful attacks, but he should go down without too many issues. Then he will ask you to go forward and help his king. It's at this point you want to speak to the king in the next area and learn about Fuban. This is a giant beetle lurking beneath the sands, terrorizing all of the local citizens, and you have now been tasked to fight it. Please note, in Phase 1, only its 2 front claws are susceptible to damage, and this will be a long fight, but you should be absolutely fine if you are patient, because most of his attacks are very easily telegraphed, especially the ones where he goes underground. So just be patient, focus more on defense than offense, and just chip away at his health. And that is because at half health there will be a cutscene, and the Rat King will jump into the fray and join you in battle to help you kill Fuban once and for all. And the second half of the fight is far easier, especially if you use the Pluck of Many, because then there's going to be like 8 of you wailing on this guy, and he'll pretty much just be stun-locked to death. Once you have defeated him, you will have unlocked the ability to craft 3 parts of the Fuban Strength armor set. I'm not sure why we can't get the chest piece yet, but should you wish, that armor set is now accessible to you. And more importantly, you get a new vessel called the Wind Tamer, which you definitely want to equip immediately, because this will help you significantly in the final fight of this chapter, completely nullifying certain very powerful attacks that the final boss will use against you. This is absolutely key to making that boss fight a little bit more bearable, because it's very, very difficult. Now, with all of your new juicy, awesome rewards, armor sets, weapons, everything really, you should be able to go ahead and smash the rest of Chapter 2, and then go ahead and join me in Chapter 3. Good luck with the rest of this chapter, my friends. I hope this video has been helpful, and as always, all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.